On this week's Tuesday Talk, we are answering a question from a viewer or a series of questions. In a previous video, we discussed how our RVing came out of our early retirement goals and how originally we thought we were just going to go and get an apartment in a city and spend time there and then move to another city and another apartment. And they wanted to know, did we seriously consider that, what the pros and cons of that versus living in the trailer are, and if we would consider doing that in the future. Just general more talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's interesting. I think the biggest con is moving. You would basically be moving your entire life every single year, and that was our goal, to spend a year here, a year there, a year there. So that would be a pain, I think, over time.
And what you mean by moving is like a moving truck full of all your furniture and
physically
all
moving.
of your stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're moving our life everywhere we go right now, our entire home, but it's meant to move.
That's right. And every year we would be looking for that next apartment, and we got to be. I mean, that would take a good amount of stress. Now there is stress in moving campsite to campsite, but we're not staying there a year.
True.
We're staying there for a couple days, maybe a week, maybe even 2 weeks if we know we're going to like the place.
I would say, since I'm the one who would be doing the planning, that the stress would probably be about the same, just different between the two, because with the travel trailer, my stress is pretty much constant because I'm always going to new places. And yes, we may only be there for a night or two and we can always move, but it's just constant. Like, there's no off time. Whereas with an apartment, it would be a lot of stress to make sure we found the right place and the right apartment because we know we're going to be there for a while. But then there'd be no stress for like 6 months before I have to start looking at it again. So I think it's just a different balance of stress. But the moving all your stuff and getting all the stuff would be stressful.
So the other part of that question, I believe, was how close were we to actually making that happen? And to be honest, we weren't all that close. It was just an idea that we were toying with. I happened to mention it to my folks, and they are full-time RV'd for 13 years. So they were like, Steve, you're stupid. Why go through the effort of moving every year when you can just get an RV and travel everywhere you go and have your stuff with you 100% of the time, so you never have to worry about packing up everything and getting a moving truck and moving in and all that good stuff. You just move your rig.
Yeah.
So, I mean, after he broached that idea to me, I don't know why we never considered that to begin with, because we have a history of RVing in our family, but we didn't until that point.
And I was thinking,
would we do it differently?
No. The year-long stays places, you can still do in an RV. I mean, you can do monthly stays in campgrounds and kind of get the same idea of like slow travel or like staying in places, but without the hassle of having to get an apartment and first month's rent and cleaning and all of that. It's like you just bring your home and you stay, which is why I think a lot of traveling nurses and things like that now go with their RVs and stay 6 months in a location. So yeah, I think if you were going to travel places and stay like a month and do like Airbnb with furniture, especially overseas, I think that's awesome. I mean, that's pretty much you're living out. You take a suitcase or two.
People do that.
You have everything waiting for you when you get there. You get to know the area. You pack up your suitcase. You go. I feel like that could be a really good option. But the like having to furnish an apartment and keep it furnished and move that furniture from place to place, that seems like a lot of work.
Well, there's Airbnbs or VRBOs. There are even house sitters where you'll go within your country or even abroad, and you literally live in somebody's house while they're away and you take care of it.
Yeah.
So there are all different kinds of ways to travel and live. But for us, this just made the most sense to us.
Yes, it did.
But house sitting has always intrigued me. I don't know if that'll happen in the future, but it's an interesting, I guess, possibility.
Yes. If we end up doing international travel, which is long-term, once we don't have the dogs, we'll probably do more of the Airbnb house-sitting route so that we can stay places longer but not have to worry about furniture and all of that stuff. So.
That's right.
Hopefully that answered your question. I think that one was a long time ago, so hopefully you're still watching. I have a big list of questions, so if you have a question, and I haven't answered it yet. It's probably coming. And if you have a question that you haven't asked yet, leave it in the comments below and we will get to it soon.
We don't necessarily go in order.
No.
So her comment doesn't necessarily mean we'll get to your question next year.
No.
We might get to it next month
It
or
kind
next
of
week.
depends on how we feel and what
Yeah.
we're discussing and what we feel like we can talk about. So
That's right.
yeah. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you next time.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye.